Hello and welcome back to The Lobby, GameSpot's weekly video game hangout here in San Francisco, California. I'm your host, Mike Mahardy, here as always with downtown Peter Brown.
Hello, friend.
Rob Hanley.
What's up?
And Callie Plaggy.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pretty good.
What is this grin?
I don't know.
You're just in a
We
mood
know
today?
a secret about you.
As usual, we have the YouTube and Twitch and GameSpot chats here in our studio. So for those joining, feel free to chime in the chat, and we will call you out if you have a good comment, as always. I do have a giveaway today. It's actually pretty cool. I'll have Jean-Luc pull up a photo of it. Yoji Shinkawa, oddly enough, did art for the 4 characters from Call of Duty Zombies. They're pretty cool looking, and we have one of each character, and we're giving away 4 of those. So if you don't follow GameSpot on Twitter, go do that, and then retweet the tweet that they're going to tweet from Shiva, who runs our Twitter account. She'll be putting the link in the Twitch chat as well if you're in there. But later on the week, we'll pick a random winner. So go follow us on Twitter if you don't, like I said, and retweet that.
And if for some reason you don't know who Shinkawa is, he is the artist behind Metal Gear since Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
So
did he do stuff for...
If you knew that, you'd probably already want these posters.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't like them just by seeing them, yeah, it's also cool. Does anybody know how that connection was made? Like, how did they get Yoji Shinkawa to do stuff for Call of Duty? Does Treyarch have a weird connection?
I got no idea. I mean, he's no longer tied to the, anchor of Konami, so I'm sure his friend Kojima lets him do what he wants.
Both of them can do what they want now, right?
It's true.
For the most part. Minus Metal Gear
As
Solid.
long as Andrew House says it's okay.
Is he the PlayStation dude?
Yeah.
House. H-A-U-S.
House.
I saw the Gaslight Anthem is banned live once, and the opener, his name was Andrew House. But everybody in the audience was like calling for an encore, but they mispronounced his name, which was funny. They kept saying Hoss.
That's a great story.
Yeah. Do have some news items. Far Cry 5, they released key art this morning. Was it this morning? Last night?
I think it was this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a doozy.
It's
It's a Last Supper parody
out there
by our friend Leonardo da Vinci over in Italy. Yeah, I don't know if Jean-Luc has that, but we can pull that up. It shows Hope County, Montana, which if you've been paying attention to, what are you doing?
I was trying to imitate it. Like,
Oh,
it's like everyone's like,
Are you making me the Jesus of the painting right now?
if you want to be.
I don't know.
His name is Jesse.
Here we go. So you can see it's kind of
Here it is,
a lot of religious, maybe cultist kind of intonations.
Yeah, you can see like a church in the background. Obviously, there's a guy who has sinner carved into his back. So it's almost too much like, it's very heavy-handed in my opinion. It's just like, this is about religion.
Unless this is a political statement on their behalf, I don't know that I want them to tread down this path.
I know. I'm...
The four teaser videos they released were actually, I kind of liked them. They were shots of this pastoral Montana countryside, but then something sinister came out of nowhere. Like it was showing this, the river right here, and then all of a sudden, dead body comes out of nowhere, and it says, "Welcome to Hope County, Montana."
There's
this one just gets gunned down.
Gunned down in a field.
But yeah, as you can tell, it's modern day. It's not like a Wild Western like the rumors were, speculating. And then here you see, this one's kind of hard to see actually if you're not really looking. It's just, now it is not, but it's just banging some dude's head against the bell.
Oh, really?
Oh, I
I
didn't even
did not see
notice that.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
it seems like a weird way to kill someone, or maybe the guy was already dead and he's just playing with him. Who knows?
They ran out of hammers.
Yeah. So that
The bell broke. What
we'll
are you going to do?
more Far Cry 5 news coming out soonish.
Apparently, Friday, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
the
the
end
announcement
of-
Friday, right? Ubisoft has been saying.
Yeah, those 4 teasers all have the same date, so it's
Cool. I'm actually excited for that. I liked Far Cry Primal more than a lot of people, or at least I think I paid more attention to it. Well, I reviewed it, but I really liked it, and I'm kind of curious to see what they do with this. Although, like you said, Pete, I don't know that I really like the direction so far. A lot of it looks like I don't know what they're trying to do. If like they're trying to people were just wondering how much the religious stuff would play into it, but also just the political aspect. Obviously, looks very super modern day critique, maybe.
Yeah, I'm very apprehensive about it. Even just like looking at that image. I mean, I thought the teasers were cool. Like I thought the live action, like, this kind of romanticized rural America, but something is off. I like stuff like that. But then this art is like, okay, you're really doubling down on that.
Yeah.
Like tripling down on that. So that makes me nervous.
Yeah, so we'll see more from Ubisoft about Far Cry 5 on Friday. There's an announcement coming. In other news, Red Dead Redemption was delayed to sometime in 2018. It's no longer going to release in September, I believe the original release date was. As always, I'm assuming they just needed more time to finish it up. Do we know how long they've been working on it at this point? Sorry, Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't mean to say Red Dead Redemption.
A long time.
Yeah. Since GTA 5 maybe, while like part of their team has been doing GTA Online.
Dude, who knows?
Don't know. But yeah, we did get a few new screens here.
Some of it looks gorgeous.
It does look really
If
good.
this is in game, I don't know if they've clarified, right? They just said,
Yeah.
here's some screenshots.
Yeah, it was weird though, because that local
That's so
paper
pretty.
in Montana, when they were shooting those Far Cry 5 videos, a lot of people thought
Oh, right.
it was going to be for Red Dead Redemption 2, but it turned out it was for Far Cry 5, which I think less people were expecting. But yeah, you can go see these screens if you want to take a closer look at them on
God,
GameSpot.com.
these are
Yeah,
so
like
cool.
That doesn't look in game.
It
Maybe
would-
a cut. Well, I mean that would be a cutscene if anything, right? That looks in game.
those are my hands. This is kind of like nice because we having seen that first trailer, we were all talking about how what we would want is a very diverse environment, right? Like just like different locations in Force. Like you kind of got a glimpse of that through these screenshots, and that was really nice. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been
It makes me excited.
that first art they released was like 7 people, right? And the trailer showed 7 people riding across on horses. It's presumably your gang, maybe. Who knows? We don't know a ton about the game yet, but probably won't be at E3, will it? If they're gonna delay it to next year.
Rockstar usually doesn't do anything at those sort of trade shows. Yeah.
I'm assuming that maybe they'll do like a stream later on this year or something like they did for the original announcement. Who knows? And then also Overwatch anniversary event as of now is live. It went up yesterday morning. A few new modes. There's a one-on-one mode, 3 new maps, obviously new skins. But I think it's like El Dorado and Eichenwald kind of variants. And that would have been, what's the Egyptian map? It
Oh.
escapes me right now.
Oh God, yeah.
But anyway, there are a bunch of really good
I'm blanking on it, too.
skins. Nick Margarita was scrolling through them. You see, like, Bastion's like a dune buggy. The best one, which Nick Margarita was showing me, Diva is now, it's called Cruiser, and Diva's mech is like an old school Chrysler from the 50s.
It even has an air freshener.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Diva herself is dressed kind of like something from Greece, maybe.
I'm going to cosplay
yeah,
it.
it's
I
pretty
love
good.
it. I'm obsessed.
And then May has the beekeeper outfit, and then the net on the mask, on the hat, is kind of like a holographic, like plasma shield thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really great.
I have a couple weeaboo notes. May's dance, like her new dance emote, is from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is an anime.
That's right.
It's the dance. It's the Wada Wada Yukai from the ending theme. On the other side of
Sorry,
that,
why is May taking like anime inspiration?
I mean, there's like tons of like little anime,
okay.
weeaboo internet things.
like his lore-wise.
Zarya's dance is the aerobics, the like aerobics meme where the guy like, if you've seen the championship aerobics. Anyway, it's all internet.
I like Zarya though.
everything.
She's my main.
Yeah, but I do want to note that the kanji on Hanzo's anniversary skin is incorrect. It's clearly Google translated. It's arrow as in like if you drew a directional arrow, not like bow and arrow. So.
Do you know offhand what the kanji for bow and arrow would be?
Yeah, it looks sort of like a spring. So it's like a bunch of squiggly lines that look like a spring, and then the kanji for arrow. But this has the arrow kanji and then a second kanji that's incorrect.
I haven't seen it. Is it like on his tattoo?
It's on his like belt strap. thing.
Okay, gotcha. Damn. Well, call up Blizzard and have them change it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blizzard, well, we'll get into more Destiny 2 later, which I'm sure a lot of people are here for, because Jean-Luc and Tay went down to LA last week for the event to play it a little bit. They had hands-on impressions. You can go see those on GameSpot if you want to look farther into it. We will get to Destiny 2, probably last segment of the show. We have a lot of smaller things to run through today. Starting with a game that Pete and Rob, you just played today for the first time. Kelly, have you played Dead Cells yet? I love this game.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I mean, I wish I had started playing it sooner. It was
Yeah.
one of those scenarios where everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'll file it away. I'll get back to it.
It's early access still.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it.
It feels really full.
It feels really good.
For those who don't know, it's a side-scrolling 2D. People are calling it. There are some light Metroidvania item gating elements, but it's more of a Rogue Legacy. If you played that, it is a roguelike game, so it's procedurally generated levels. But you see, the character just picked up a cell there. You can kind of see at the bottom left of the screen the blue orbs. Those are kind of souls from Dark Souls, I guess, if you want to compare it to that, because there are some. You lose those, and then, but it is very much. Rogue Legacy is one of my favorite games, and this is more like that, minus the mutations of your ancestors. But you get past like this first area, you get to the sewers or the promenade, and then you get to you can pick up actual permanent upgrades, which abilities you can kind of grow these vines out of these small little clumps, or like I said, those are the Metroidvania item gating elements. But you'll also pick up like here, you'll get a magic increase for your abilities.
You find blueprints for their items. And
yeah,
stuff.
you find blueprints, and then you invest those cells into different upgrades, and then once you invest those cells, that's permanent.
Those cell upgrades look pretty extensive, like as far as the pages.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think Pete and I were just talking about, I think my favorite weapon so far is the dual wielding knives, because on the
I just
third
got
hit,
that.
Yeah.
the third hit is always like a critical, and it's kind of this combo you
cool.
can do. And so you see on map to LB down there, you can see like health vials. You can upgrade it so you can have more than one each life. And then when you get to the checkpoints, you can refill those. It's very much like Estus flasks from Dark Souls or blood vials from Bloodborne.
What you can't really tell just by watching this is how tight the controls are.
Yeah.
Very responsive, and it doesn't feel like there's any sort of like weird weightiness or floatiness that you have to get used to. So that immediately made me like hooked. But then it's just like the presentation and the sort of like the quick little combat scenarios it introduces very quickly teaches you that there are a lot of enemies you have to deal with in very different ways.
Yeah.
Not to mention, as you can see now, the game's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
The animations are so impressive. Just like just getting the daggers, like your pose when you're holding them and running, and then just like, I don't know, finishing a kill is just super rewarding with those things.
Yeah, like looking at all the work that's already gone into this, it makes me wonder about the team that's created it, because there is a lot of effort clearly that's been put into this game.
Motion Twin, right? The developer.
Yeah, but like I don't know their background, but I'm super curious now after seeing this.
You want to like look into it? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know what they'll keep adding with early access. Maybe they'll flesh out. There's not much of a story at all. There's a guy at the beginning that tells you like, oh, it seems you've lost your head.
That's right. And then he goes, that explains why you can't talk to me.
Yeah.
Like it's like the writing is really endearing. Like I've been really enjoying it. Like people are pretty mean, right? You come to a merchant, he's like, now get the hell out of here.
Yeah, he's kind of the merchant, right?
Yeah.
He can. That's what the guy you invest your cells with, and then you die, you lose all those cells. You like Rogue Legacy, you can get this upgrade where you keep a percentage of your gold when you respawn, though. There's a carrot right there. That's like a one-time health upgrade. But you see these numbers above the weapons and the trigger, the magic abilities, and your health. Those you actually have to start over and upgrade later on. But yeah, the farthest I've gotten in the game, they've kind of hinted that I'm halfway through. And again, I've played probably 6 hours at this point. And I have upgraded my twin blades to about, they're doing like plus 20% damage. So they're awesome. But the thing is, like I said, it's procedurally generated. So I might not even find those. So it's kind of a risk to what you're investing in, but that's half the fun. The enemy variety, the farther you get in, is really good. Those red ones are the ranged kind of zombies that you see in this area. But then you start getting into a lot of enemies that can shoot through walls, which makes it a little tougher. And here you see.
Oh, here's that one guy. Did you get that ice blast there? The first item there.
I tried using it, but the actual time it takes to use is too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer to just. Oh, and then there's these little touches that it's kind of these emergent things you don't realize. If you do a ground slam, you stun people. Anytime you're dropping, just hold down, press down and A.
Yeah.
I guess a small tip. And then doors, don't open them, just hit them because they'll stun. It almost flashbangs the enemies behind it.
And you get like a small amount of something, some resource from
dodging is huge.
Well.
I never use shields if I can help it, but dodging, you go through anybody, especially when you start fighting the shield guys.
I didn't know you were. I mean, obviously there was going to be controller support. I just didn't figure to plug that up. I imagine that would be a lot better.
Is it better
great.
on controller?
Playing with the PS4 controller just felt immediately good, and it just worked like no problems.
Yeah, I've been using Xbox One and it feels great as well. Then this guy, you spend your cells here. Here you go. So you can see. So the health vial up top leftish right there with the 52. You need 52 cells to be able to carry 2. I actually got that. So between these checkpoints, right after this merchant, you'll see that there's this giant flask of health potion that you refill at. This game is fantastic. As someone who really likes Metroidvanias, which that's less of the comparison I would make than to Rogue Legacy or something. There are, like I said, Callie, you just saw those clumps that said tickle. You can grow vines on them later. Those are the permanent abilities you keep, and that's where the item gating comes in, like a Metroid game.
Yeah.
But it is more, if you liked Rogue Legacy, which if you haven't played that, you should. It's on Xbox One and PS4 now as of last year, 2 years ago.
Hell, it's on Vita too.
And Vita, yeah. You should play that game.
Vita. Yay.
Roguelikes would be fantastic on Switch now that I think about it.
It's pretty good on Vita, Mike.
Yeah, I don't have a Vita.
You don't have a. Oh,
No.
I love my Vita.
I've been considering buying a Vita recently. Because after playing
Persona
Persona
4?
5, I want to play
Yeah.
Persona 4. I want to play Spelunky on the
You gotta
Vita.
play Danganronpa.
Final Fantasy
to talk to me.
Tactics.
Yes, God, for the love of God.
I think I asked Pete maybe weekly what the best platform to play Tactics on is, and what's the answer you always give me?
Play the PlayStation Classics version on Vita
Yeah,
or on your PS3 that you still have hooked up because you're cool like me.
Oh, cool.
I do have
I
mine
have-
hooked up. Well, it's not
mine
hooked up,
is-
but it's stacked on my entertainment center. I just have to plug it in.
There you go.
Yeah, play Dead Cells. This game's awesome. Like I said, it's in early access, but if I didn't say that and they didn't have a notifier at the beginning, you might not even know it. It doesn't feel like there's much missing. I haven't found anything I dislike about it. The only thing I dislike is kind of inherent to like a roguelike is sometimes you won't come across items that you like and you'll almost feel like you're not having the full experience in this playthrough. But again, that's the game's design, I guess. The blood sword, this thing, whoever, I don't know whose footage this is. I think this is Jake maybe. Whoever is playing right here, the blood sword's good. It just causes bleeding damage.
It's mine.
I know for a fact this is not you. I watched you play earlier. You're only like 20 minutes in though, right?
20 minutes too far.
What? You don't like it? Do you like this from what you played?
No, I really do like it.
Play with a controller.
Yeah, I am enjoying it. I want to play more of this for sure.
It's tough, but it feels so good that you don't mind dying and starting over.
Yeah,
Honestly, like you
absolutely.
can see here, it's getting. This is not even the craziest it gets. Oh, here there's these weird scarecrow things that shield enemies. So right there, you can't hurt them until you kill it up top. It's like a practice dummy that like a knight might use or something, which is great. It forces you to. Sorry, I don't want me to keep cutting you off.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But it's really the enemy variety later on gets really great.
My point kind of passed, but just talking about like you don't mind dying because it feels so good is like something that's really inherently important to this kind of game. So
Yeah.
that intrigues me. Like obviously I'm pulled in by the art style and it's gorgeous and it looks great. But that I think is the thing that's going to keep me playing.
Did you get the chance to play Rogue Legacy ever? You should try that and this.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rogue Legacy, Cellar Door Games, I believe. 2 people made it, I think, and it came out 2013, which was a year where a few of those kind of games came out. Rogue Legacy and Risk of Rain, which has a sequel they announced. Well, Risk of Rain itself was made by 2 people as well when they were at Washington University, I think. It was 2 college students, and they made it, and it was kind of a sleeper roguelike hit back at the kind of the peak of the roguelike craze. This game, honestly, design-wise and, like I said, roguelike kind of 2D side-scrolling feels like it might have come out a few years ago. Not to say anything about its quality at all. It just feels like a few years ago this kind of game was like everybody was wanting.
Yeah, I mean, it might be fair to say that, all that energy and interest back then inspired the creation of this, maybe.
Yeah, what is like 5 years ago at this point now, some of those games?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. But definitely, just talking about these things feeling fun, to go back to that point, super important because like Rogue Legacy, I respected the hell out of that game, but I hated getting like bad genetics
Yeah.
from like different characters, and I would stop playing at certain points.
And that's kind of the thing here. You might run into playthroughs where, or I say playthrough, but it could be like 5 minutes, it could be 3 hours. But you run into parts where you might not find the blood sword or the dual daggers or the ice blast or the bear trap you see down here. I'm going to keep playing this. This is kind of what I'm playing right now, and I really like it. It is on Steam Early Access. I believe it's $20 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If you want to go check it out, I highly encourage people to. Even if that's not your type of game, it's worth checking out, and you can go play that as of now.
I think it was $16.
16.
Oh, maybe there's a
really?
little sale.
I don't think there's a full release date, but again, you might not even know it's early access if you just want to get in and play now. Another kind of not small game, but like confined, tightly designed game is Nex Machina, which you played. You streamed with Jake.
That's
Have
like
you
the
played it yet?
arcade shooter. Right?
Yeah, it's Housemark. Am I saying that right? They made Resogun,
Housemarque.
which was a. Is it?
Housemark.
I think it's Housemark. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I loved Resogun.
Yeah, launch title for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That was my PlayStation 4 was like, aside from Call of Duty Ghosts, was just Resogun for about
Best
2
launch
months.
game for the system.
Yeah,
I
it was
played-
really good
I played a lot of Resogun.
because it was what, Knack.
Let's not. I don't want to walk down
Let's
that
not
path
talk
again.
Did we talk about Knack on the, or just like
No, I just ever again. I don't.
Oh yeah,
It's dark times.
yeah. But if you played Resogun, which is very much like Defender,
Yeah.
kind of, and then you were saying Nex Machina is like
Robotron.
Robotron, which was a
Robotron.
Genesis game.
No, it was an arcade original, and
Oh.
then it was ported to other stuff. It was sort of the I don't want to say the original twin stick shooter, but essentially like one of the earliest very popular twin stick shooters.
Oh, sorry. One more thing about Dead Cells. Ronnie SC in the YouTube chat was saying the early access price is 16. At the full release, Dead Cells will be 20.
I see.
That makes sense. Okay. But yeah, Nex Machina. Twin stick shooter, pretty frantic as you can see from this gameplay right here. This is not even the least of how crazy it gets, but the music is fantastic.
Music is
energetic, like driving kind of.
It's half the
soundtrack
experience.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was gonna say Beamatron or Beamtron, excuse me. Touching on
you and your-
Robotron.
You're adding letters to all
What
of
do
these
you
things.
What do you call the iconic settlement in Zelda? What do you call Kakariko Village? Never mind. He calls it Karaoke Village.
I like to have fun.
Sorry, Nex Machina though. I have not gotten to Beamtron. I have not. I played
That's
this
the
game.
first boss, Mike.
I have played the game for about an hour, if that. I was using Jake's account on my PC here at work.
Dude, yeah, we had a blast with this game. This is something to look forward to. Honestly, we had a really fun time. Like the weapon types are great, but it looks. I don't know. It looks really intimidating as far as the pacing and like how much is going on. But you are very much in control, and you are consistently having these like heart-stopping moments of just near misses with like maybe those like orbs or like there's one part in the stream where it was a giant boulder chasing us, and it was like. I just remember Jake being like, "No way, you're gonna make it!" And it's just Raiders of the Lost Ark style, just screaming. This is like, "Oh my god!" Just getting out.
It's just like Resogun.
Fun.
You get into these tight corners. You're like, "There's no way I'm making this out." But then you use that. There's a dash ability. You get
Correct.
3 charges before it recharges. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a there are pickups you get, and that's one of the abilities. Yeah, it's a 3 dash. Yeah, you have 1 dash which operates on a cooldown, obviously. But when you have 3 dashes, yeah, you can chain 3 of them. And then you get things like explosive dash, where you I think when you leave an explode when you land from the dash, you leave an explosion. But like we got to the last boss, and the thing about this game that
The last boss of the game.
the last boss of this 3-world demo.
Okay, because this is a beta right
This is a
now.
beta,
it's in,
excuse
right?
me, yeah.
Is it public?
No, it's
closed?
I think
Okay.
it's closed. But oh my god, we were playing on we were playing on normal, and we couldn't finish it. And we tried then seeing what hard was like, and hard, oh my god, it's like you start the game, and I think the first enemy types don't have any kind of projectile or anything like that. Every enemy has a projectile of a wave of those orbs. It is, and it's like it feels like the speed is cranked up like double. It's unreal on hard mode, which is a type of game you'd like to see, done like speed runs or what have you, streaming. I don't know. This game is something to look forward to. Yeah, again, the music is spectacular. It's one of these games where you just need to kind of try it to really understand like the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't look. I mean, it looks cool, but I think the joy of just getting out of these dire situations, like you eventually you'll have just like tons and tons of enemies chasing you, and all
I'm
your
stressed watching this.
yeah, it is stressful. It's a
I was
fun
gonna
stress.
say that I was gonna say it's very oddly therapeutic for me.
Yeah,
because you get into
absolutely.
this kind of flow state that just you can kind of. It's fun. It was funny watching you two on the stream because, like I'm watching you and you're like, I don't know how they're talking right now because I think Jake's playing right now, but you do get into this just trance, and like when I'm playing, I'll play at lunch sometimes for maybe 10 minutes, and it actually relaxes me in a weird way.
Yeah.
But it can get stressful for sure.
It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, cleaning your room where it's like you got all this mess on the screen, you got to get rid of it. And it's like just gratifying. Blow it all up. Blow that shit up.
I wish I could
ever-
blow up my room to clean it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If you go to Steam in like 3 months, Housemark is going to put that pull quote on the game's page. Like cleaning your room. Rob Handler from GameSpot. Damn, I haven't seen some of these enemies. Those stacked razor blade things remind me of the what's that enemy in Mario called? They're like those stacked spike balls that you see in the desert
yeah,
area.
what are those called?
they are like that, except these when you destroy them, they split up into multiple.
God.
Those guys, they'll split into those things and leave like a trail of orb
Yeah.
death.
Even watching this is
I'm so stressed,
Yeah,
but I also
you get-
really
love
fun.
it.
But it's when these things too, were like the ending boss, right? Like we got really close to beating him, and one of the things we realized was like you want that triple dash because the ending boss is shooting out so many orbs at such a high rate velocity that like you just are constantly in need of a dash. And then here's like a weapon upgrade. You can get to double and triple here. It's just when you get those pickups, it's just fun. And the other aspect of this is that you'll see like humans there, the green dudes. There are in each little stage here, there are 4 to 3 humans you want to save, and that will increase your score. And if you are going to be one of those guys trying to get on the leaderboards, that's crucial. You pick those and save them, and you have a certain amount of time because they're getting like converted into these alien machines.
Like the Typhon and Prey.
Right.
Yeah, it is very much, like Housemarque with Resogun proved they could take this very somewhat simple idea and make it a very tight game. That's why I'm excited for this. Jake went to PAX East and then came back, would not stop talking about this game.
Oh, for sure. I've never had someone in this office.
Shut up.
I was. Yeah.
Sorry.
It sounded harsh.
I've never had someone in an office come in and Jake of all people, this like a really charming guy, just comes in. He's like, "You are playing this," and he's
he did that to me too. He was like, "I'm gonna make you play this."
Like scoots you out of your own seat and is installing the game. Like you're going to play this.
It was one of those points in the year where this was March, being PAX East, I believe. Yeah, early March. So there's everybody here has been playing like 12 games here. They're all fantastic. The last thing I needed was another game. And then he's like, well, it's already installed on your PC, so play it. I was like, all right. And I played it. It's a good recommendation. This is a closed beta. People in the chat were saying they're waiting for their keys, so maybe they're sending more out. I don't know. But this will release in June, right around E3, I think, or right after
June
E3.
20th.
June 20th, so right after the week after E3 or something like that.
Yep.
So this will be a good PlayStation 4 and PC game to play. No longer just a PlayStation, because Resogun was just PlayStation 4 exclusive, I believe. It still is, right? I don't think it ever came.
There was also a Vita port.
Okay. This is on PC as well.
I also want to recommend, you can't hear the music here, but if anyone who is just curious about this game, go check out their trailer. They have like a really awesome, like hand-drawn cinematic trailer, which is just blasting this like house, like retro synth music. That's
Bangers.
just.
Is Housemarque Swedish? I think they're from they're a European developer, but it just when you said house, it just reminded me of like Swedish house music. That's where house music started, right? Sweden?
Sure.
Is it Sweden? Isn't Avicii? No, Avicii's Italian. That's not house music either. I'm sorry. I'm butchering this whole conversation.
Allora.
I'm on like episode 5 of Master of None, season 2. You should watch it. If you haven't watched Master of None. Allora. What does that mean? Well? Like, well. Isn't it like a transitional thing? Like, pero. Yeah. Anyway. Play. What the fuck were we talking about? Play Next Machina. Sorry. Play Next Machina. When you get the chance, June 20th. That is $20 from Housemarque, the developer of Resogun. If you like that game, you'll probably be super interested in this game. It's in closed beta right now, but yeah, like Rob said, go check out our gameplay on GameSpot, and you can hear the music.
You got to hear that music. Also, there is local co-op.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
In the beta right now?
No, we weren't able to. It wasn't implemented yet as far as what we played, but it is coming to PS4 and PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been playing on PC.
Not Xbox.
No.
Okay.
And Vita, I'm assuming. Crossplay, maybe? You won't be able to. Can you crossplay anything on Vita, PlayStation 4 now?
I want you to know, Sibo says that house music started in Detroit. It's already gone.
Detroit?
Detroit?
Something good came from
I
Detroit.
thought it was Bill Gates in a garage.
Boom! Just kidding.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding. Sorry if you're in Detroit. I don't have anything against Detroit.
Also,
Someone said they were in
Housemarque is apparently
Syracuse the
from
other day in the chat. Did you see that?
What?
Someone said they were at a gaming tournament in Syracuse the other day.
Yes, I saw the.
I think I can't tell if they're mocking me. I'm from Syracuse,
okay, Mike.
New York. But anyway, you have been playing Thumper on Switch. Yeah. Can you
Speaking
show
of
us?
bangers.
Every time Thumper is said, Peter just looks at you and his
like,
eyes he just nods with a grin. It's kind of
pupils-
scary.
His pupils just dilate.
Yeah.
Show us the stance you said you were in when you were laying on your couch the other day playing it.
I was just by myself. My girlfriend was in the other room, and she came back, and I realized that I became like self-aware, and I was like, just out of it, just in it.
Peter!
Yeah.
It's like that Strafe, the 90s trailer.
Yeah.
It's totally like
released.
Yeah.
You can't handle it.
So is Thumper better on Switch? I mean, is it a really good Switch experience?
Yes, it's best in VR. But I'd say if you were gonna have the choice between playing it like on a TV or on Switch, I would recommend Switch. The stick on the controller of the Switch, like on the body of it, is not ideal necessarily. But the whole point of really getting into this game and really seeing what it's made of is to just let yourself go and be a part of it, because one, it's so fast, but two, it's all about atmosphere as well.
Is this actually? This looks sped up even for Thumper.
Hell no, this is slow for Thumper.
What? Oh my
This
god!
is slow.
What
really
stage is
slow.
this?
This is probably
This is
2
slow?
or 3.
Okay, no. This is where I probably
Give
got
me
to.
a
No,
break.
this is like
5?
stage 5.
And I think there's 9.
Oh, those
stages.
goddamn things! I haven't-
These, yeah. So the one criticism you could levy at this game is that as the worlds expand, they kind of just like reintroduce like little elements like this at different speeds with slightly altered music. But it's not necessarily like a huge problem, because this game just when I was playing it on PlayStation VR, I would play it for like an hour straight and like take my headset off and see everyone around me like, answering email, cracking a joke. And it was like, why would I ever do anything but play Thumper in VR? I'm going back.
So it's like the beginning of 28 Days Later. You're just Cillian Murphy coming out of Killian Murphy coming out of his coma.
His name is pronounced Killian?
Yeah.
didn't
People, we were talking about 28 Days Later on Dead Air, this podcast we used to have here about horror games and movies, and people got mad at me for calling him Cillian.
I thought his name was Cillian Murphy. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah.
Anywho.
So
I like here. Well, look at this footage. I'm sorry, Callie. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. So you talked about it being great in VR. So is Switch like what's the
So I'm saying Switch is better because you can hold it in front of your face
and like really get into it?
and just really get into it.
I felt like when I was holding it, I was more as you were saying, Peter. Like I found myself again bringing it closer and closer to my face. But when I hooked it up, did the switch, if you will, to a TV, and I feel like I had a better experience along with the Pro controller. Like I felt the Joy-Cons, the main button you're using, really, you're like pressing it down so often, it was like creating that divot or pressure point in my thumb and like stressing out my hand in general.
You're feeling it.
I was also playing for like 3 hours straight. And I felt like
and on a lot of drugs.
a lot of acid.
Just laced out on Thumper.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's just like this shit.
I looked like
awesome.
Majora for a second.
So cool. It does look like Majora.
This game is just insane. I got to stage 5, and they're consistently introducing more like obstacles, and that's why I want to say, Peter, is those rings that you see above.
Yeah.
You can hit those for a higher score,
Yes.
but like for me, I guess what I'm realizing is just watching your footage. I'm assuming this is you. Is you're just ignoring them, right? Like you have to at some point, unless you're like insanely good.
This has got to be from PlayStation.
This is
It
VR.
is,
This is
yeah.
VR.
This is
okay.
PlayStation VR footage for those joining on Thumper.
but-
Just joining the chat. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty crazy.
just so quick and so intense that like I don't know. At some point, I had to put it down. I will come back to it because it's really fun. But
those gates in the air get complicated because if you get hung up on trying to get a high score when you're literally just trying to finish a level, which is hard enough on its own, it's so easy to just like run into a wall at this speed and totally miss an opportunity. And especially in a boss fight, because you have to do these segments perfectly. If you miss
this one right here.
if you miss one key tone, you'll have to restart that section over again. So those gates are optional. So that's probably why I was avoiding them. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see like the top players in the world, like how they manage stuff
Yeah.
at this speed.
So this is out on Switch now.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to get it? Just through the
The eShop.
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 Yeah.
eShop.
eShop. That's the
Yeah.
only way to get it on Switch.
shop.
Sweet. So now it's on PlayStation 4, PSVR, and Switch. PC as well.
PC as well.
Peter Christopher. Is your middle name Christopher?
Yes.
PC Brown.
Yes.
PCB. PCP.
Yep. I would have been, if I was a girl, apparently my name would have been Pamela Christine because, and they've backed this up many times, my parents wanted my first 2 initials to be PC because they're nerds.
Really?
I
Tech
don't,
geeks.
but to me it's like printed circuit board. That's the real nerdy acronym going on.
That's why you own it as your
What?
Twitter handle. I like it.
Yeah.
What? Wait, sorry.
Printed
what about,
circuit board.
What is that?
PCB.
What is a printed circuit board?
It's a circuit board. It's a technical name for a circuit board.
But printed?
Yes.
You print circuits now?
Jesus, Mike. I don't have all day to teach you about electronics.
The
and
circuits
manufacturing.
has come to town. Cool. So Thumper is available on Switch. That the eShop if you want to go play it there. It's also available still on PlayStation VR, PlayStation 4, and PC. You can go check that out.
Do it.
God, sound effects in this game. I have that one haunting one where you start, it goes,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
like they create those blocks, just like, oh god,
Mommy.
Help.
That game as well is kind of hard to get a full experience of just watching gameplay. If you haven't played that or Nex Machina, those are both, obviously Thumper's very reliant on its soundtrack as a rhythm game. But yeah, you can go, oh my god.
Here we go, a printed
King's
circuit
Tallington
board.
on Twitch chat.
Jeez.
Mechanically supports and electrically connects electronic components using conductive tracks, pads, and other features etched from copper sheets laminated onto a non-conductive substrate. Components, for example, capacitors, resistors, or active devices, are generally soldered on the Peter
Soldered.
Christopher Brown. What did I say?
Soldered.
Oh, sorry.
Solder on.
I was trying to read it before it left the chat.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Now they're talking about PCP.
Hey, if you want PCP,
Polychlorinated.
get a couple hours in of Thumper, and you'll have it. They've done studies. It's very similar.
Yeah, you don't need drugs to have fun. You just need
couple
Thumper.
hours.
There's someone in a lab somewhere making Thumper copies with beakers and chemicals.
All right.
Cool. What else? Oh, Rhyme. Do we want to talk about Rhyme, or we want to wait till next week after reviews come out?
We could talk a little bit about it.
Are you going to compare it to Zelda like you always do? No, someone in the chat said that earlier before the show started that Pete compares everything to Zelda.
I haven't. I will now.
Is Thumper anything like
Just
Zelda?
to spite them.
Actually, yes.
You just fight Ganon at the end
There's
to the
a
Hyrule
beetle.
theme song?
It's a beetle, and there's beetles in
Yes.
Zelda.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Beetle.
There's a guy, yeah. And he
Yeah.
loves beetles. He'd probably love Thumper. Boom.
You want to know something that makes me sound dumb, and I probably should announce it to the public?
Everything
I
you
did
say?
not get the whole Beatles pun until I was like 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've always been like good at spelling, and I love the Beatles, but then I looked at it one day, I'm like, oh fuck, that's beat, like the beat. Anyway.
It's okay. It took me a while to get Flight of the Conchords. So
Well, Sean McGinnis, a former GameSpot editor,
Man.
I guess, was saying, someone here was saying that they talked to him, and he only just like a few months ago got the South Park fractured butthole pun.
No, I can't believe that.
No, I've heard that too. That's what
Yeah,
somebody said.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
Is that more unbelievable than me not knowing the Beatles pun? I guess so, yeah. It's a little more on the nose.
I hold you two to different standards.
It's a little more on the butt. Rhyme, I guess it comes out Friday. Do we want to talk about like what it is, just so people, they've probably seen a little bit of it, but
It's an adventure game just like Zelda.
there you have it.
Similar, aren't
Okay, it was
You heard it here first.
It was initially announced as a PlayStation 4 exclusive at Gamescom 2013, I think, from Tequila Works, and it's since kind of been shaken up a little bit. It has almost a Wind Waker-like aesthetic, and essentially what we are getting is an adventure game where you are exploring an island with very little direction, and you are just sort of using the cues around you to solve puzzles and infer where to go. And yeah.
The art style also sort of reminds me of The Witness. That might also be the island setting.
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm drawn to the art style.
It's reminding me of The Last Guardian. Kind
Well,
of.
yeah, you
in
have
terms of
this-
gameplay and you
That
have that
hooded
fox
figure
with you.
looks like Journey.
Yeah.
You have this little
What other games do we see in this?
you have a little animal companion that's like a fox, which is probably better than Bird Dog because it's a more manageable size, in my opinion.
Cool.
can't write it.
Oscar Deus in the UK, our UK office will be reviewing, or he is reviewing it.
Oscar
that'll
Deus,
be up
Oscar Deus.
tomorrow.
Oscar Deus, Oscar Deus.
Oscar Deus.
Oscar Deus, Oscar Deus. What's wrong with me?
I hope he's watching right now. I hope he's taking a break from reviewing this game to watch.
Golly, lost it.
Oh my god.
Crying a little
We've
bit.
ruined her. Sorry. Love you, Oscar.
I just
You can keep going if you want.
picture
I know most of that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ryan will be out Friday. Our review will be up tomorrow at what time?
8 in the a.m.
Pacific.
The M stands for morning.
8 a.m. Pacific time. You can go check out Oscar Deus' thoughts. Can't say his name now without thinking about that. Yeah, it'll be up. Go maybe check it out. His review will be done tomorrow. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, we finally got into Battlegrounds, a game like everybody seems to be talking about, and now I kind of get why. I'm loving it, and I suck at it.
Me too.
Just to preface, PlayerUnknown'S Battleground. If you played, it was originally like a Hunger Games mod for Arma 3, I believe. Like the concept. It wasn't called Hunger Games.
They've done.
Give me that look. I'm done. Hey, Callie and Rob, we're going to finish the show now.
I haven't returned to this plane of existence yet, so...
I'm the last person you
here.
should talk to Arma 3 about, dude. I don't know.
It was originally a mod, but now it's a full game, and it just... What was it? It's early access, but the sales from it were just like monumental.
Yeah.
They like came out of the gate really strongly, but it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's a very hardcore kind of third-person military shooter, but if you've like seen the Hunger Games or need to go farther back, Battle Royale.
I remember that parachuting scene.
It's a 5x5 island that you essentially you can go solo or you can go as on teams, but you start with 100 people. And you just want to be the last one surviving. Here's a gameplay from Dave and Lucy over in our UK office. You get down, you have to gather supplies and guns, and then the area that you are supposed to be fighting in will slowly restrict. So by the end of the match, I think the best I've done is I was the 15th person alive. Is that the right way to say that? I was the 15th. I was one of 15 survivors, and then I got killed because the play area got shrunken so much. And I actually got lucky. I landed somewhat in the middle of what would eventually become the zone, because if you're outside of that, you'll start slowly losing health. Oh, Timur's playing this. Maybe this is 4-player team over in the UK office. Yeah.
I have yet to play the team mode, but yeah, it's pretty intense. Hearing someone come into the, that's what everyone says, right?
It's
like
scary.
you're in a house and you hear someone come in, and it's like, oh, fuck, what's my next move? Like,
yeah. It's terrifying going into a house.
Yeah.
But the best
doors
part is
open. Yeah.
one of my best playthrough, I guess you'd call it. I was on the 3rd floor of this house. I was doing a solo one, and I just found this house, like I said, pretty semi-close to what would eventually become like the zone that everybody's fighting in. But I was on the 3rd floor in this attic, and the sound design of this game is phenomenal. So you could hear on the floorboards downstairs, 2 floors down, someone coming in, and then you'd hear a car drive up outside. You'd be like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, you can get vehicles when people are playing on teams. You can have these like kind of squads of dune buggies. But yeah, I was on the 3rd floor and I had a shotgun, and all of a sudden this guy came up. I killed him, and he dropped his loot. So I got a SCAR assault rifle, I got a handgun, I got like bulletproof vest, or and then a backpack with more inventory. I picked that up, and then I ran up a hill, and the guy killed me.
Is it better with like a team of people you know?
I like the game more solo. I think it is very fun co-op. I've played maybe 3 matches with other people, but I myself like the tension of playing alone. But Rob, you were saying you like...
Having seen a lot of Twitch streams and stuff of the team-centered moments, it seemed to be, just in my opinion, just be a lot of fun. Like I generally saw like a lot more crazy or funny moments. These 2 guys were in, I think this is one of the highlight reels of who does it, Kotaku or
Kotaku.
Yeah. These 2 guys would seem to be like 10 minutes waited in a Jeep that they had gotten into a corridor of a hospital. And they're just like, shh, quiet. And they just are waiting for like 10 minutes.
Because you can hear people opening doors. You're like, they're coming in.
So finally, 2 guys at the end of the hall come into the room, and then they just gun it, billowing down this hallway where the other 2 people had, of course, like no idea that was going to happen. They just crush them against the wall and immediately just start laughing. Those moments seem really fun. But as well as the more serious stuff where like tactics, where like, you don't die immediately when you get killed. You're down, and you can get revived. So you're talking to your buddy, you're like, hey, he's over here, and you just, I think it was a giant bomb thing, and then just someone came around the corner and just shotgunned the guy in the face, and you're just like, that, and it was Jeffrey's like, that was awesome. So you really want to see, or I don't know, when I was playing solo and having not played this game, obviously you get better over time, but like, I just instinctive, no, what?
No, I was,
We're laughing at the chat.
You just instinctively really want to have a buddy to help you out. I don't know. And I feel like you can get longer or farther into a game opposed to dying immediately. I feel like you have more of a chance.
So the biggest like barrier to entry for me for games like this is like learning curve, because I hate like letting people down. And so that's like kind of what has been stopping me from playing.
Play solo for a while, I would recommend.
Like solo is a good way to get into it.
That's my preferred way, but yeah.
Like that's the thing is whenever it's an online thing, I get so nervous because I'm like, I don't want to let anybody down, but also I have no idea what I'm doing because I just started playing this game.
Yeah.
And so I just like getting over that like if it's easy to get over that learning curve, then that's great. But
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's you know, it's no different than like what we were playing recently, right? With like or it is different, but you know, similar in as far as like Nazi zombies, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That was different because I've played that game before and I was able to jump in with you guys.
Sure, yeah. Just I don't know. I do really want to play more of this and get good.
This game is
I
definitely intimidating.
Would like to get good. Yeah.
You do have to be very tactical. People in the chat were saying this is like one of those shooters where you can't be pissed that someone's camping. That's like this game.
Right.
So
Right.
say you land, you parachute onto the east side of the island. You don't know where the battle zone's going to eventually be confined to. You can get lucky sometimes like I did. And I was in the attic for the whole time until I had to go up this hill. And someone, you know, the best players will look at where the massive zone starts and kind of see where the center is going to be. So then they will go there and camp, and they're already in position. Like the best players will get supplies, realize that they have enough, and then just wait there. Even when I'm going across fields, I'll go prone and just, you know, like military crawl or whatever you want to call it across a field because it's terrifying. It's exhilarating once I realize like, shit, I have to leave this house now. There's 18 people left aside from me. I can hear gunshots kind of close by. It gets really scary. Yeah, it's a very different experience playing co-op. It's very fun. It is you definitely start to have to rely on your teammates kind of, especially when you're going to clear a house.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where you know there's 18 people left and the zone is tiny. You're like, there are guaranteed people in this house. And when you go and clear it out, it's pretty terrifying. But yeah, people just joining, asking, this is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I really like this game. It is just kind of a gold mine for, like you were saying, like highlight kind of stuff. Daniel Dwyer's been tweeting a lot of his.
Yeah,
his are pretty funny.
There was another scene. Those bombs drop was another one where like these two guys were in a house and they're just talking to each other and there's like it's going on, right? But they think they're safe with the roof over their head. And the guy's like, "Have you ever like died like in a house from like one of these things?" He's like, "No, never." And immediately after he says it, shell drops and kills them both. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Lately, I really want to play more games with like friends and stuff. There's just you can just make anything. Like we'll get to it later, or maybe this is a perfect segue. Is Friday the 13th we've been playing here, and
It is, yeah.
we've been having a blast playing that game.
Oh,
I haven't, at least
have
chatting
not.
with people, but
No, Kelly did not.
I did not like it at all.
No. That is, people are super interested in it.
Yeah, people love horror, right?
You're reviewing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Review in progress is up on site right now. I give it a not scored yet out of 10. Yeah, it's. I'll wait until we switch footage.
Well, for people who don't know, Friday the 13th is a like, what do you want to call it? Asymmetrical multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess it's nothing like it, but if you want to go back to maybe like Left 4 Dead, or no, sorry, Evolve. One person versus four. In this case, it is Jason Voorhees versus four of the Camp Crystal Lake teenagers. If you are familiar with
those spunky
Halloween,
teenage camp counselors.
Halloween, if the Friday the 13th movies, it comes out Friday, but people in our office have been playing it the last couple days.
So incredibly
a
bored.
day.
I was so bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so Peter, you touched on this in your review. Like, when you first start playing, if you die early, like if you're a counselor and you die early, you could be waiting for like 15 minutes and just spectating.
Yeah.
And that's boring. But also, like, I didn't actually like the task of trying to escape and protect myself. Like, just kind of, running through this camp, and I just was so bored. Like, I just kind of like hung out in a closet and waited for you to come kill me because Peter was like Jason like 6 times.
And sorry, Peter, you go ahead.
I was gonna say that totally valid. Like I survived a few matches by playing a stealthy character and just camping in a tent. Which, wow, that's the perfect use of that phrase. But it's one of those scenarios where it's like, all right, so what's the point of playing? Is the point of playing just to amass experience points and not die, or is it to try to get crafty, and avoid death at the hands of this dude who has crazy advantages? I think you have to be, you have to go into this looking for that kind of experience where the odds are stacked against you, and you're going to have to scrounge and be stealthy. Essentially do things that are kind of stressful and will make you, worried moment to moment. Or you could just do this.
Right. But I just don't feel like there's enough. I don't feel like there's enough to the movement and the act of scrounging around to make it compelling. So it's like, I find a flare gun. Yeah. I can only carry one thing, which is like, fine, that could be interesting. But I just feel like it's something with the movement or something. There's not enough there for me.
It does a really bad job of explaining the different options you have available to you. So the whole point is there's a fixed amount of time. The counselors either have to survive before Jason kills them, before the clock runs out, or find a way to escape the camp. And escaping the camp means finding items to fix vehicles. But that's never really explained to you. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to just sort of figure that out. Maybe you could, but immediately you just know that you need to hide, right? So your first thought is not going to be like, I need to find a car and see what parts I need.
And there are your objectives. That's the only time it like explains, other than the intro, like how to play. But like, despite this info being given, you're right. Like, as far as you have no idea where the stuff is or how to find it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go through a lot of matches that are boring, where you die a lot,
right,
to get to the point where you kind of understand the lay of the land.
But is that worth it? Like, what's compelling me to? I don't mean to be like antagonistic.
No, it's fine. No.
I have so many other games to play and like
yes.
things that I want to do. Why should I have to go through all these boring matches? Where I mean, like we got kicked so many times yesterday trying just to play.
Yeah.
Where I was like, why would I put up with this when I could be doing literally anything else?
No. Well, and that's the other valid point is that we had a lot of connection problems.
Yeah. We were getting booed from matches all the time, and it was making it kind of frustrating to get into a match. And I think, Kelly, you make an excellent point. It's what did it for, and that's all I can really explain is what did it for me, because I was definitely like put out for my first few matches as counselor. Mm-hmm. But once I got to play as Jason, I kind of understood the dynamic between the two sides a little bit better, and maybe I could see the mistakes that I had been making through the eyes of Jason, which then led me to think about the game differently when I was a counselor again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's fair. Like that's interesting to me. Like that's the only thing that has hooked me is hearing that from you. Like that's the only reason I would want to try to keep playing.
Yeah. The only and this was where I was mentioning earlier is like and where for me it got interesting was when like Peter and I last night and a couple of other people in the office played late, and we were actually finally talking with other people and chatting on like what we should do. Oh, I have the gas tank. Come to me. And this is footage of my play. Like towards the end, last night was the first time as a counselor I won, and it was a pretty funny story where Nick Margarita was playing, and this woman over here was like, she got the battery and she brought it to the car, and then I had ran out of stamina, so from a hilltop I'm looking down and Jason's killing her, but she got the battery to the car engine and died. I'm like, oh crap, I'm not going there. Then I met up with two other people. We had a gas tank. They had the keys. We're putting the gas tank, or pouring gas into the car, doing a little mini game. And if you fail the mini game or are stalling the mini game, then Jason like hears you. So I was pretty awesome, and I did like a flawless gas tank fill.
Gas.
I'm hella good. This is me. Oh, by the way, I am
did mocap for this character.
I did do mocap, and that is my own cardigans. So yeah, here's this is the actual footage of it. But the thing was, what was I getting at? I'm sorry. Later on, we'll just let's play out. But so as I'm doing this, you were covering your buddies. That's Nick Margarita there with the plaid, with a flare gun,
jean shorts,
baby.
And
the male.
So
Uggs.
Nick didn't know how to play. So the funny thing was then like Nick runs over the front and he gets a battery and he starts hooking it up. And right now you're slowly hearing the Jason music build because he is getting closer and closer. Yeah. So it's making that mini game very stressful. So I'm here like, all right, I got the flare gun. So Nick's doing it, and Nick is in the office, and Nick's going, damn it! All the meanwhile, he's alerting Jason to know exactly where we are, and we'll let it play out. But the point being is that this is a very centered. Oh, here it comes. So there, Jason is just here. Where is it? So by the way, here he is. He's coming. So by the way, this is a 2-seater car. So there are 3 of us. So here's Jason. I shoot him in the head with a flare.
I love that
stalls
person.
It.
Wait, you didn't know who that
That's
person
a random
came out of
person.
nowhere and took the car.
Yeah. So I'm like, let me in. Here's the best part. And so Nick, who helped, he helped with the battery, and he's like, hey. There's footage of him getting murdered. Straight up left him behind.
That's fantastic.
Look at her face. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you can't tell, this game is rough around the edges, but it's almost. I mean, did you guys play Dead by Daylight earlier this year?
No.
Or last year? Sorry. That game, same idea, asymmetrical horror. There were different killers, but that was the only way to escape was to activate these generators. I almost just said genitals on accident.
Well, you
Sorry.
did now, Mike.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Right.
You had to activate generators to escape this like whatever map they lay down. There are more options available, and it's also more, like more focused on Friday the 13th. But it seems like kind of almost in the same vein of Battlegrounds. I think Battlegrounds more polished, seems like very much so, especially getting into and out of matches. But seems rough around the edges, but they're like the emergent situations, like Nick Margarita running next to the car when after he did all like most of the work.
That feels straight out of Jason movie, right?
I wasn't here for that. I had to
Yeah.
leave. So that makes me want to try this game again.
Right?
To
Yeah.
experience something like that. My first impression was really bad.
No, and we were on the same boat. Like we were all there,
Yeah.
but we decided.
Like literally,
was a car,
in
but-
the office, you shouted, "This is a dud." I remember, and then it got better.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun yesterday playing with randoms.
Oh right.
Who were really antagonistic, but then we like got them to like come on our side and like joke around with us. And then so Rob was playing as Jason, and the whole point was that we were like just gonna be friends. We weren't gonna. No one was gonna try to kill anyone. We were just gonna go around the campfire. But meanwhile, I'm telling Rob, I'm like, all right, just. You can kill them, but just don't kill me. And so like slowly one by one, he starts killing people, and then we like run off, and I find you, and you just like murder me, and it was like this comedic scenario in a game that's meant to be horrifying, and it just comes down to the people playing it. Like it's a great thing for that.
I again am expecting a lot, just like Battlegrounds, a lot of streams and like funny pranks. Like again, like this is the same instance where I'm Jason. And I'm still engaging chat. I'm like, hey guys, I'm making a campfire. We're gonna cook up some chili, and they all came out. And
Do
like,
your actual Jason voice that I heard for like 3 hours yesterday.
what was it?
I sit next to Rob in the office.
Oh, you were doing
and he
this,
was doing like,
like,
I made chili. Guys, they made chili. And then well, they didn't.
I made chili.
No, that's
No,
your
that's
Snape
your
voice.
Alan Rickman voice,
That's your separate Snape
which was
voice. You
also
have
great.
a lot of
I
characters
forgot what I
that
was
came
doing.
out yesterday.
But they're all like, they all show up, and they're all really timid, and I'm Jason at this campfire, and they're like, Are you sure you're not gonna kill us? I'm like, I'm totally not gonna kill you. I'm just making chili, and then we're all there, and it's like, what do you actually do? I obviously can't make chili in the game, so we're standing there. I just go, hey guys, guess what? They go, no, and I go, hey guys, guess what? And one of them has a shotgun, goes, shoots me and stuns me. And I'm just like, I'm coming.
Oh my
It's
God.
fun. Like so, I would expect a lot of again like streams and funny kind of like viral stuff. This game needs work, clearly.
It needs a lot of work.
It needs a lot of
The
work.
round eyeballs, where they're just
Oh,
like,
the animations are so like the
They're
facial
really
animations
janky.
are so
Andromeda
bad.
eyeballs.
they're janky.
And what's funny is it's on the level of like bad B-movie slasher films, I would say, to an extent
A
where
little bit.
you could kind of.
It was on purpose.
I'm not saying it was on
believe
purpose.
that.
I'm not
I
saying it was
don't
on purpose, but what I am saying is that it kind of makes it so dumb and fun, like in that respect.
Yeah.
Like seeing that character we just saw, every cutscene in the beginning, he just turns around and it's the most it's like the most obnoxious face.
yeah.
What's the balance like? Because my initial impression from playing it a few months ago was that, I mean, he's supposed to be, but Jason was very, very overpowered, and I
Well,
guess that fits.
part of
but-
it.
Well, so part of it is right. Like if
here
you
it is.
just sort of if you just sort of like hide, you're not going to find things like firecrackers or the flare gun or stuff like that. Things that can actually give you an advantage to get away from Jason. You can set bear traps. There's a lot of things you can do. He is pretty overpowered, but part of the game is managing as a counselor, like how often you move, how rushed you are, how much fear you're giving off, because those are the sort of things that he senses. There are also other characters, right? So there's a girl I unlocked who has 10 out of 10 stealth. There was one time where I was literally crouched in a room and Jason was just looking around and like couldn't see me. So you can find ways to get around it. You just have to like spend enough time to understand the tools available to you.
Okay. You unlock new campers.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
one
counselors.
annoying thing that I overheard you guys saying is, unlike Battlegrounds, which you die a lot in, you can leave the match right away once you die. In this, you have to wait out the rest of the
This-
match to get
Yeah,
experience.
that's what I
That's-
was
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
what she was saying.
at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh, right, you did talk
Yeah.
about that. Okay,
You can
that
leave.
sounds annoying as hell.
You
I
can
agree.
leave, but
super
you're gonna lose all or
Right.
a good. This is confirmed, right? You're gonna lose a good amount of your experience. If
I
you
haven't
don't.
seen experience get added on
Yeah.
after leaving
If,
a match.
So
anyway.
it's-
yeah,
a
if you want
bust.
experience to unlock the better things, you have to like stick around. I was
Yeah.
like answering emails and doing my makeup. Like,
Yeah,
like,
and you might as well, because I think you get at least 500 experience points for finishing a match by just waiting it out. That's enough to roll a random perk, right? So like you might as well just do that so you can get a random ability to tack on your characters.
Because you start with none.
Yeah. And you know, there is a chance you'll be resurrected as a character who's got like really high stats and a shotgun. But that's not a guarantee. That's up to the players in the game to do something to activate that. It's weird.
Someone did kind of bring that up. Like within the first beginning moments of the game, like Jason gets stronger and stronger, right?
Yes.
So, you know, maybe you could be that lone wanderer and hide in a tent the whole time, but it could be detrimental in the end because he can eventually just like find you.
Yeah, that's true.
Your review in progress will be up today.
Man, it's up.
It is up.
It's up. We're working on a video review to go with that, but the full review should be next week sometime. I got Tekken 7 in,
Yeah.
so I'll be dividing my time between Tekken 7 and
Damn.
Friday the 13th.
We got like, what, 2 arcade cabinets for our
Yeah.
office for Tekken 7?
Yeah, we have an unboxing video of that that Joey and I did. Joey's our official resident unboxer now.
Is that up?
That's what
the
he
video?
does.
That's going to be tomorrow.
Okay. Those are funny.
Tomorrow morning. And then, and then stay tuned Friday for a live stream where we will put those things to the test.
In terms of live streams, also before we get off Friday the 13th, what time? 2 p.m.
2
Pacific.
p.m.
Today?
I'll be playing with
I think I might
Jake.
be. But you and Jake will be streaming. But I think
Yeah.
back in the office or like outside the studio, I think like Nick, a few people will be playing. I'm
We'll be
assuming
playing.
you
Probably
will.
hop on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this-
if you want to
Also-
watch that, it should be pretty funny.
Yeah, we're going to do it this morning. We had some technical problems, but it will not happen again.
Yeah, so come back later on today at like 2 p.m. after the lobby to watch Friday the 13th. Rob and Jake will be streaming it, but everybody else in the office will be playing.
Are we also planning on streaming it tomorrow? Do we have a special guest, maybe? Oh, there is a funny story behind that.
What?
What the?
I have half an idea of what you're saying.
Well, I thought we were getting Adam Sessler to come in.
Oh, is that happening? Miguel's been planning that, right? Is that tomorrow?
Maybe. We'll find out.
Okay. So that's a half
Oh my
tease
God.
for
This
something
is
that
the
might
thing that
happen
was supposed to
tomorrow.
happen, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard an update on that.
Great. Sorry, everyone.
Well, we're going to do it twice.
Word. And then you guys have Dino DNA. We can talk more. Yeah, Apex Penguin's a Dino DNA fan.
Yup.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
so you can check that out later on. Now I want to talk about Destiny 2. That was the big event last week. Callie, you are a big Destiny fan.
Yeah,
Or
I've
at
played-
least you know it really
I play
well.
a good amount of Destiny. Yes.
Like I said, Jean-Luc and Eric Tay, who are in the back room running the show right now, went down to LA last week to check out Destiny 2 to play it on PC.
Yeah, they played. Tay did a strike, and Jean-Luc did Crucible multiplayer.
And yeah, there's a lot of new information. I'll kind of run through a laundry list of those things first, and then we can kind of get some impressions. But they showed off the trailer. For those of you who don't know, it's the tower, or the last city, is kind of attacked by the Cabal. They seem to be the main antagonists in this, as opposed to what the Fallen kind of were the first one you run into in the first
Right.
Destiny.
Yeah. So it's there's like a Cabal leader. His name is like Gaul, or looks sort of like Ghoul. Ghoul. Yeah, it's like this is. I think this might be. I'm not sure where we are in this section because I didn't.
This is at the tower, right?
This is the tower. Yeah. So yeah, you're defending the tower at the beginning.
You got
This is,
Zavala
like,
right there
the
next to you.
opening. Yeah.
Titan leader.
Yeah, and so there's returning characters. So obviously, if you saw the like initial trailer, like Cade is in it, and
Ikora.
Akora and Zavala, and yeah, so we learned a lot about the game actually.
Yeah, it seems, I think, overall takeaway, in Bungie's words, Mark Noseworthy, the producer, we did an interview with him. I think they talked to a few people down there, but he was saying they do want to make it accessible, but not at the detriment of its depth, because they want, like now it's going to draw on a whole new audience on PC. It is on Battle.net, so it's Blizzard exclusive in terms of...
Yeah, so that's interesting. That's
yeah.
the first time they've had a non-Blizzard game on
yeah.
Battle.net.
I guess it makes sort of sense if that of all games it would be this with Activision's involvement, obviously.
Right.
But there won't be crossplay, obviously. But people were asking, there wouldn't be PvP crossplay, but people were asking if there could be co-op, but that'd just be a whole can of worms.
I highly doubt it. Yeah. I also don't know. Like your gear and stuff won't transfer, but apparently your character's appearance transfers.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that works on PC. If you're planning to switch to PC and you played on
Right.
Xbox or PS4.
Yeah, I see a Korok
I don't know how. Like I don't know if you get your character's appearance or if that's just like if you played on Xbox and you get Destiny 2 on Xbox, your character appearance will transfer.
Wasn't there like a weird like app you could use to like manage your inventory?
Yeah, there's a Destiny app.
So
I love the Destiny app.
So maybe that's just it. Maybe that's the link.
Maybe,
that can
yeah.
cross streams. Yeah.
Possibly.
But yeah, this will release September 8th. There's no PC release date yet, but PS4, Xbox.
Yep.
For DLC in the future, it will be timed exclusive for PS4, as with Destiny 1, right? It'll just be the most content will come out on PS4 first and then Xbox later. That is until at least fall 2018, according to Bungie.
Yes.
So if you're on PlayStation 4, you'll get to play the new content a little bit earlier. There's a beta coming this summer. If you pre-order the game, apparently you can get access to it a little sooner than the public. But yeah, there's 4 new planets, like worlds, but in terms of the last city being attacked, you're going to be going down to Earth's surface as your home base, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, it'll be a little more accessible. There are like some weapon things, like you have there's chain guns and grenade launchers. There's a third weapon instead of a secondary weapon. It's energy.
They changed the weapon classes, so it was primary, secondary, heavy. Now it's kinetic, energy, and the last one is
still like a heavy, right?
It's like a heavy, but I forget what the name is.
Kinetics are more like conventional bullets, energy, or
so yeah,
plasma.
kinetic. There's overlap between kinetic and energy, so you could very likely have the same gun equipped in the kinetic slot and the energy slot, and then heavy is stuff like grenade launchers, the chain gun, and like fusion rifles and the stuff that would be a heavy.
The minigun right here, you can see on the or chain gun. Sorry, this is still the same mission. What appears to be the first mission of the game, I would assume, the story mode, or at least like soon after the beginning.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, and then in terms of the classes, the new subclasses for the Hunter, Warlock, and Titan, saw the Dawnblade, Striker, and then was it still the Gunslinger or no?
It's the Hunter
staff, right?
The Hunter one was oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the
Eric Taylor, John
Arc
Luke.
Strider.
Arc Strider, thank you.
Got it, right? We said it at the same time. Cool. Yeah, so you swing a staff around, and then there's the Titan one's like sort of Captain America looking shield that you swing around. And then I never play Warlock, but it's a flaming. Now I want to because it's a flaming sword that shoots fire. So that's pretty rad. Oh, power! Thank you. The heavy, the heavy replacement is power.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we got to see new supers and subclasses from the reveal, which was cool. Just to give you an idea of like what's changing and what's new.
What do you think about guided games? Their attempt at trying to appease people who want matchmaking, I think, but it sounds a little better in my opinion.
I don't think it's an attempt to appease anybody. I think it's really, really smart, actually. So guided games is basically there's a official clan support. So before, if you wanted to play like a raid, for instance, you had to get 6 people together. And if you didn't have 6 friends you were screwed. And if you didn't you couldn't get everybody online at the same time, then it was really hard to do anything. This has official in-game clan support. And basically, guided games is when like a clan, if you have like 5 people who are ready to play, you're looking for a 6th. You can put like a clan description, and somebody who's a solo player can search clans who are looking for a solo player and kind of pick who they want to play with based on what the clan's description is. So it kind of gives you more control over the types of people you're playing with. And
so your 6th won't just be this.
It won't be
hat that wants to screw things up.
Right, like if you're trying to complete the raid and someone just comes in and just destroys like everything and ruins your time and then that's no fun. And so it gives you more control. And I like that. Like I said, when we were talking about Battlegrounds, like I get really nervous about letting people down if I'm playing something co-op. And I just like that you can kind of go in and see like, oh, if this clan is like, hey, we're going to teach new players how to do the raid. We've done the raid a couple times, and people can be really welcoming. Or if it's like, hey, we're looking for someone who knows what the hell they're doing, join our group and we'll raid.
Do we know how they'll communicate what they're looking for? Are there like set like play styles? And a lot of games will say like competitive or laid back.
I'm not sure. During the presentation they had like clan names. My favorite was Every Rose Has Hawthorn, which is where they were, and I thought that was real good. I loved it. And like a description of what the clan is, and like so they had an example of like scrolling past one that was like we pwn noobs or whatever, and they were like reject. So I'm not sure if it's like manually inputted.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm really excited about that. I think that's a really smart solution for especially like the end game higher level content like the raid.
Yeah. They're trying to open up stuff, and then Nightfalls won't.
And Nightfall, yeah.
That'll also be. Can't you just play it? I don't. If you want to, Is there still a level cap for those? I thought they said something about like Nightfalls being open to everyone.
They wanted it. They said something about it just stuff being more accessible to
Yeah.
all players, which was part of the guided games philosophy. I assume it would still have a cap, but I'm
Yeah,
not
'cause-
sure if they said explicitly.
What about they said there would be more than just patrols on the surface on the planets
Yeah.
now.
So exploration is greatly expanded. So before, like if you wanted to go down to the Cosmodrome, you would do patrols, and that's basically what you could do. And it got very stale after a while. They're promising more open exploration, so like actual bona fide towns, and you can there's like side quests that NPCs will give you. So like actual NPC side quest givers instead of picking up a patrol.
Yeah, NPCs sounds like a much needed thing.
Absolutely.
As far as, like,
For the world
creating
building
a world
even.
beat- yeah,
Like outside of a
that's
hub.
awesome.
The one they showed looked like he honestly looked like a kind of what am I thinking? Like Saving Private Ryan. He was in a tower with a sniper rifle, but he was actual like looked from another game. Honestly, it didn't look sci-fi. He looked like he was dressed like World War II kind of clothing, like a survivor on the Earth's surface.
Yeah,
maybe.
they had Earth towns that looked very like they were like shanty towns, kind of.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. I like that they're kind of fleshing out the world, because a lot of the world building in Destiny was in Grimoire, and if you didn't care about that or didn't read that, I usually just read it on the app when I wasn't playing, when I was like in my height
Really
of
well written
being obsessed.
and cool stuff too. It's a shame that they didn't have more of that in the game. But
Yeah, so I'm hoping that means they're going to. I mean, that's another side of the accessibility coin, is just making the actual world more apparent, the actual story and background. I think that's more enjoyable than for the hardcore player who's going to like try to get Grimoire and read it in their spare time.
right.
Yeah.
What are those things called? They said there are going to be these like side missions. They had
Adventures.
Adventures. Yeah. What are
So-
those about?
Yeah, so that is like a treasure hunt thing. I think that was one of the examples, but they specifically described this treasure hunt thing where you have like an actual map and you go to I forget what it's called, but you go to like an area specifically designed for this side quest, and you have to fight a boss, and the boss holds the key to a treasure chest, and there's like loot in it.
Do you think those will lead to exotics ever, or that?
I would hope
is
so.
lower
I mean,
level?
that would be a cool way to like just a different way to get to
Yeah.
exotics and legendaries.
Especially for someone who's playing the game maybe solo and wants to come in and kind of just for the exploration rather than the actual, like Eric
Yeah.
Tay is super into min-maxing and
Right.
getting the most out of what he can from nightfalls and raids and whatnot.
It would absolutely be nice to like, because when I was grinding a lot for Rise of Iron, like I just had to do the same strikes over and over again, because I didn't want to do there's like one way that was like min-maxing, and I just didn't feel like doing it. And so I liked that with the side quests and the exploration, there's a potential for a little more variety in how you get more gear.
Cool.
It's not clear if that's actually how it'll work, but that's what it seems like.
Peter and Rob, as two people, correct me if I'm wrong, who weren't traditionally into the first Destiny, does this excite you from what you've seen, or is it doing enough to get you invested at all?
I wanted to get into Destiny after like the first year, once things started changing for the better. But
Taken King?
but I felt like I had kind of missed the boat already.
Totally.
So I'm interested, this time around, because we're all going to be on even footing, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I get to be a part of that hype cycle that kind of is important. The social aspect of a game like this means something.
Yeah.
I love that, and I just love how the shooting feels in this game. Like I'm just really excited to have a better version of that. Honestly, I know a lot of people are like, it's Destiny 1.5, but if they just take what was good about the first Destiny and round it out, then I'm hopeful about it.
Yeah, I think Tay had a good line, which was like, regarding the 1.5 comments you see like everywhere. He did basically said think about COD. Like they don't really, or at least the first few CODs, like that never really went too far away from like the norm they've set, right? Like this is the series of Destiny. I don't know, like it makes it, how Tay put it was obviously better than more eloquent than me,
He
but
said
like
like
I just
he
understood
wouldn't
what he was
break
saying.
what works.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Bungie from the beginning, when they first announced Destiny, before we really knew what it was, how many years ago now? 5? I think they were saying it's more of a platform than a game, and that's why it was always, like Taken King obviously revamped a few foundational, like systems at place before that, but I do have Jean-Luc actually I did want to pull up some questions because those might lead to some
but
other things that I have.
Really, we're already gone from the. I was going to talk about multiplayer for a hot second.
Oh no, the Crucible. Yeah, it's only 4v4.
It's 4v4, so they're just like tightening up the multiplayer modes. So some of the modes from Destiny might be changed or not return.
So there's no free for all, just as of now, or
they just
4v4?
said 4v4.
Okay, interesting. I do have some questions, Jean-Luc. I think we got them in from Twitter yesterday when I asked for questions. A few people from our community. Here we go. Ray, he goes, even if Destiny 2 is amazing, how does it feel that it could take another 1,700 hours of your life? Are people up for that again?
That's video games, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we do.
I would, though, to go a little farther, I would like you were saying, I would like more reason to return outside of the grind.
Absolutely.
I don't want to keep doing the same strikes. I would love to come back one day and maybe explore. I'd love to come back the next day, play like a raid with Eric Tay and you and Jean-Luc. The next day, maybe come in and play some Crucible. I would not like to do the same 6 strikes over and over and over.
Yeah, like even if you're like, if I think it's Tuesday when stuff refresh or whatever day it is. Yeah, like I like that schedule. Like that's something that the community really likes, and a lot of people are like, all right, Tuesday we're getting together. I didn't really do a whole lot of that because I was like, I got stuff to do. So I don't know what day it is actually, but I would definitely like more than just like an obligation to come back. I think that's what Destiny needs.
Right. Yeah, Ray on Twitter, thank you very much for your question. I believe we have 2 more. Jean-Luc, correct me if I'm wrong. But here we go. Hexadrin. Do you think Destiny 2 might try to appeal to players who do not enjoy Destiny? I guess I kind of asked you two that already, but
yeah, maybe the guided stuff could help.
Yeah, or the more exploration and NPCs, like you seem to be.
Well, yeah,
more
the
hyped
story
about that.
could definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I remember from what I played, like again, part of it was what Peter was saying, which like I missed the boat whenever any kind of update happened, new raid. I can't get there. I can't hang out with my buddies and play that shit. Like I have to do all this grind in order to get there, and that's just intimidation. It's like I'll wait. Like I always feel like I was waiting, and this might be. Peter and I already talked about it, like, yeah, this is now a nice fresh start for those people who maybe dropped off. But again, one of the things I did notice was like in those open area moments, like when you're just riding around, there were only those events, right? Or like just certain. You felt like you were hitting the same lanes, you were doing the same kind of routes. Hopefully that you can spawn in different areas and see different perspectives, different like different like angles of this beautiful world. It is a gorgeous world, but you're always going from A to B, and that's the same like 2-note things. Like and NPCs and these kind of side quests seem to be we're hopefully able to change that. So that's exciting.
Cool. So Hexadrin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, thank you for the question over Twitter. I think we have one more. Do you think Lost Sectors will be an analog to Horizon's Cauldrons, or more akin to the raid puzzles in Destiny 1? Are those the adventures you mentioned?
That's the adventure area, yeah.
I think it seems like they'd be a little more in depth than the Cauldrons. The Cauldrons, from what I remember of Horizon, were pretty straightforward, right? You're just getting to the center to fight a boss, and then
beautiful.
I don't think it'll be near. I wouldn't compare it to a raid puzzle though. Like I mean, it would be on a much smaller scale.
Right.
If anything.
Bite-sized kind of as opposed to the raid puzzles, which could take hours to figure out.
Yeah, the first time you do the raid is like, okay, what the hell are we doing? Whereas I think this is intended to be done like maybe you could have like one person join you, just do like simple co-op or by yourself. I don't think it's that scale. So I don't know. But also I don't think the Cauldron would be more in depth, more involved than that.
Yeah. Grant Wilson, thank you for your question. And I think that's all the Destiny 2 questions. If you want more Destiny, we have like a hub up on GameSpot for all you need to know. If you played Destiny and want to know what's changed, if you didn't get to catch up last week, or if you're new to Destiny and just want to kind of figure out what's going on, we have a lot of information up. Jean-Luc and Tay had a lot of good coverage. They get to play
gameplay.
They played on PC, and we have gameplay of that, I believe. There's no release date for PC yet. No, we do not have PC gameplay. Sorry.
Yeah. They had played it, and
they did play it. They have hands-on impressions.
Yeah.
Apparently, it mouse keyboard like felt really great, if not better.
Yeah, and then we have an article on everything you need to know about the PC version, like specs and keyboard mapping and all that stuff. If you're a PC player,
and that's the thing is, I would be really interested in playing PC. I guess I don't know. I guess as far as friends, most people are going to be playing on PS4. But yeah, that's a bummer. That's not going to be at launch.
Yeah, September 8th for PS4, Xbox One, and then, like, once we know PC release day, we will let you know. Jean-Luc, I think I had one more question that was kind of unrelated to Destiny 2. If not, then I could be wrong. but-
Negatory.
Nope. Okay. Well, I remember it. Mark M. He asks a lot of he sends in stuff for the lobby a lot. He was asking. He said there's been a lot of kind of under the radar indie games this year that we might not. I guess Dead Cells would have been a more apt question to ask this during or more segment. But he was asking kind of like I don't know, just to round out the show. What have you guys been playing lately that might be under the radar? Anything? Like Dead Cells, I guess would be probably the best one to say, but A Night in the Woods earlier this year.
I could not. We didn't get to talk about Night in the Woods that much, but I cannot recommend that game enough. It's phenomenal. It's this like multi-layered look at middle America and kind of like working class struggle and struggles with depression and existential crisis and the quarter life crisis. I mean, it's just so phenomenally done. I love that game.
And then one that I've been seeing decent reviews for is Old Man's Journey. Seems pretty simplistic.
Yeah,
I've heard good
Maybe
things
more
about that.
tonally kind of in line with I don't know. It's more about like not platforming, but clicking through this pretty gorgeous, like almost not hand painted world, maybe like watercolor-ish. I don't know.
Maybe.
Have you checked it out yet? Do we have a review for it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I want to check it out at some point. But yeah. And Mark M, I believe, thanks for tweeting me yesterday. Yeah, cool. Damn, it was a long show. But we had a lot to talk about. Yeah, like I said, at 2 p.m. Pacific, we'll be playing Friday the 13th. Jake and Rob will be streaming it, and then we'll be playing back in the office. Dino DNA, the new dinosaur live stream from these two. We'll be playing.
And then the mosquito landed on the tree and got stuck in the sand.
He's been waiting to say that on
So
camera
excited.
for a long time.
They played Telltale's Jurassic Park game last week. From what I saw,
So
it's not
you
a
don't
good
have
game.
to.
Yeah.
Don't. We made a mistake. We had fun. There was a cool moment where I don't know if I want to.
There's no way they're gonna let that little girl die.
There's a girl character and you're controlling her and you're literally like eye to eye with a T-Rex and we hate at this point in the stream we hated it so much we just want to see people die because it was so boring. Yeah. But so I was like, Peter, like don't you're doing QTE stuff. It's like, Peter, don't do it. Let her die. And Peter's like, there's no way they're gonna let her die. T-Rex comes, grab her, does
bites
with
her
the terrier dog shake. It was just half a second after he said that. It was really funny. But yeah, well,
You have yet to announce the game tomorrow, but it will
I'm
have
thinking-
dinosaurs.
maybe chat can help us out. I'm thinking Turok 2.
Yeah, chat. While we're finishing up the show,
Dinosaur game. What you
dinosaur
got?
game that they want to play. Dino Crisis is the obvious one, but that's like a decent game from what I
Yeah,
played.
I like the original.
More in
play
line with
good games.
with a Resident Evil kind of third-person survival horror. I'm going to be playing more Battlegrounds, I think. What are you playing this week, Callie?
I'm going to Fanime, so I'm playing my sewing machine.
Where? What platform's that on? No, where is Anime?
San Jose.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're reviewing like a ton of games right now.
Yeah.
By that I mean 2. Friday the 13th and Tekken 7.
Yeah, I want to write a review for Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers for Switch. But that game Street Fighter 2 has been released so many times now, and there's only a few things. So I don't know.
Don't we have like 2 arcade versions here in the office?
We have one.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll give you a live review.
Sure.
Maybe don't buy it.
Tekken 7?
No,
Yikes.
Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers.
Oh, shit. Gotcha. Okay.
It's a weird repackage and like kind of remix of that game.
I just want to keep playing Injustice 2. I really like that game.
Yeah, I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
I want to keep playing that. I want to keep playing Dead Cells.
Yeah, Dead Cells
I want
is
to play Dead
fantastic.
Cells. No.
If I had my choice, that's what I'd be playing.
Yeah. But anyway, as always, thank you so much. If you joined in the YouTube or Twitch or GameSpot chat,
I think it was Chris something in the chat had a good one. Yoshi's Island.
That's really good.
that's
All
a
right, fair
fantastic game.
I've seen Turok 2. I'm thinking Turok 2. Turok 1, fine game, but not enough dinosaurs in it, in my opinion. There's more bipedal weirdos.
So we're gonna play the Nintendo
Weirdos, so
64
like you
version.
guys.
If we have 64, I would fucking love to. But that's hard to get.
All right.
But that was remastered though on PC, right? So we can play.
Yeah,
that
oh no,
one?
it's not PC. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Yay, anime.
As always,
man.
thank you so much for joining, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, or on GameSpot. Like I said, go follow GameSpot on Twitter if you haven't. If you want one of those 4 Call of Duty Zombie posters by Yoji Shinkawa, the character artist for Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah.
Those look really good. You can retweet that tweet, and we'll pick a winner randomly later in the week. Apologies, only in North America. Outside of that, Eric Tay, Jean-Luc Seipke, and Richard Lee, thank you for running the show as always. We got the stream later on at 2 for Friday the 13th. Got Dino DNA tomorrow. We will have, I know Jake Decker and I will be streaming something Monday. We haven't figured that out yet. We are kind of just playing what we talk about on Reboot, our show. But yeah, got a lot of stuff coming out this week. And thanks as always for joining. We'll see you next week, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific on Wednesday.